you were drafted out of high school, right?
I got drafted out of high school, yeah, but I went to college and decided to give myself 3 good years before I got drafted again out of college. So that was one of those things where I felt like I wasn't ready yet out of high school, so I wanted to go to college and make sure I got kind of more experience and kind of mentally was more prepared to be a professional.
Yeah. Yeah, you ended up going to UNLV for those 3 years, hitting 328 with a 427 slugging percentage, 34 home runs, and 112 RBIs. So, and that was good enough to get you drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in 2008. How was that experience?
That was amazing. Just you work so hard for something your entire life, and once you kind of get that opportunity, it's like all that work that you put in was ultimately worth it, right? All the people that helped you get to that point, all the sacrifices that you made, it kind of runs through your mind, and going and being a professional, doing something that you dreamed of. A lot of people don't even get to chase a dream, but the opportunity to chase it and then kind of realize that dream was special to me, and it was something that obviously meant a lot.
Yeah. Um, how was the your time in the minors? Because you got drafted in '08, and you didn't make your MLB debut until September 4th in 2014.
Yeah, it was a grind. That's what that they use that word grind in the minor leagues, and really that's what it was like for me, just trying to find ways to continually get better, and continue to press my game forward. There was times where I felt like I was taking a step back, but I always kind of felt mentally that I had the opportunity to be a major leaguer, and I think that's what kept pushing me. I knew it wasn't going to be easy from the start, but I think just being focused on finding ways to just increase my game, even if it was marginally, that was kind of my focus, and um, it was fun because I got to play with a lot of good guys. I got to really hang out with a lot of guys that helped me get to the major league level. I had a lot of great coaches, but yeah, it was definitely not easy, and it took me the full 6 years, basically almost 7 years to get there.
Yeah, yeah. And then after that, you ended up getting traded to the Marlins, and then you got called up on. You ended up signing a minor league deal with the Marlins, and then that you got called up on August 19th, and then August 20th, you hit your first career home run. And do you remember who you hit it off of?
Yeah, I hit the home run off of Chad Cool. That's something that I'll never forget. That first home run, it's a basically it's just a feeling that you can't explain. It's almost like everything kind of just you almost black out and don't realize what happened, because it's just a feeling that is amazing. It's one of those feelings that's indescribable. I just remember being on cloud nine, like jogging around the bases, just because something that I had done so many times in the minor leagues, and even as an amateur player, was really kind of tough for me to do at the major league level. It was weird, but once I finally got that one, I was like, okay, the big weight came off the shoulders. It was like, okay, I belong here. I got to do it at an amazing park at PNC Park. Got the ball back, and then as I remember the home run, Ichiro was on second base. Mattingly was my coach, so when I came back into the dugout, big high five from Don Mattingly. Barry Bonds was my hitting coach, so a big hug from Barry Bonds. Um, and just a lot of screaming and yelling from a lot of my teammates. So it was a really cool moment.
Yeah, man. If you know anything about baseball, those are some big names. Um, we got a question here from my guy Tomo, one of the co-hosts from the Refuse to Lose Network. He says, "Was there a moment where you wanted to give up, and what kept you going?"
Yeah, I didn't feel like I ever wanted to give up. I questioned and like doubted myself at times. Just more from a mental standpoint, right? Just more from a like, man, other guys, and this is mostly in the minor leagues, but I saw like other guys that maybe had gotten done playing baseball around the same age as me, and they're on with the next job, making money. They're having look a successful life after baseball, and I was kind of like, man, like I want to have that if I'm not playing to the area or the par in which I'm used to playing. And I felt like I went through those stretches where I just kind of questioned myself and questioned, okay, should I be doing something else? But I think what kind of pushed me is I've always had faith in myself, and I always have faith in God that that everything will work out the way it's supposed to, right? And if I'm putting in the work and I'm doing what's necessary and I'm making the correct changes, that something good will happen. And to always kind of continue to be confident, even through those times you doubt yourself. Like that's when you have to really turn on the confidence. And I had people in my corner that kind of talk to me about those things, and so that's why I kind of mentioned like friends and family that that help make those sacrifices, because they're the ones that are a lot of times talking you um, into continuing and motivating you to continue and to be your best. So that was definitely what kind of kept me going.
Yeah, families was definitely a huge part of my game as well. When I was playing, I didn't make it as far as you. Ended up playing as a college player. That's as far as I made it.
That's
But I was
awesome.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be a part of two national championship teams at the USCAA level at the College of St. Joseph. So
That's
um,
awesome.
I definitely don't regret any part of it. And then after you played for the Marlins that year, you ended up going to Korea and playing in the KBO,
Yes.
right? Explain the difference between the major leagues and what essentially is the major leagues over there in KBO.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The major leagues is like is going to be the best of the best, right? You're getting Japanese, you're getting Korean, you're getting Dominicans, all types of Latin players coming that are the best of the best to play in the United States. So that's the top tier. Korea would be more comparable to like between Major League Baseball and AAA baseball. So I went to Korea because I had an amazing opportunity to experience a different culture, and I was trying to make a name for myself to where I didn't have to go from AAA to the major leagues back down to AAA to the major leagues. So it was an opportunity to maybe go to Korea and then come back and play in the major leagues. So once I signed over there to play for the NC Dinos, an amazing experience. It was kind of the biggest difference for me personally was just being able to be on one team shooting for a championship, kind of being able to focus on the things that I know I'm great at, without trying to worry about if I'm going up back to the major leagues or down to AAA. So it was an amazing opportunity for me to do that. But baseball's different over there. The atmosphere is more party like.
Mhm.
It's exciting every single game. Doesn't matter if you're out of the game. If your team's losing by 10 runs, you're still getting excitement in the crowd. The fans are still going crazy. I kind of describe it as like a Duke UNC Duke North Carolina basketball game. Like the atmosphere is going to be nuts every time out. So we had an amazing experience over there. My first son was born in Korea, so Korea definitely has a special place in my heart. And I'll go over to Korea here in a couple of days and get ready for the two games that will be played in Seoul between the Dodgers and Padres too. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that should definitely be fun and a great kickstart to the MLB season. Um, and then after that, you went off to play in the Mexican League for the Leones de Yucatan.
Uh,
Uh, how was that?
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was another great experience for me. I'm huge in experience in different cultures. I've played in so many different leagues, and Mexico was right up there. with one of my favorites. Just getting to experience a different style of baseball was cool. I thought it was it was more focused on kind of the power game, but also a good mix of a little bit of small ball. There was a lot of base stealing. Excuse me. There was a lot of pressure, putting pressure on the opposing defenses, hitting runs, a bunch of that stuff. So that was exciting. My team, Leonis, we got to the championship. We actually lost in Game 7, but that was an experience within itself because, like, a lot of times you think about winning a championship, but a lot of times you basically never think about the team that lost that championship, right? Or the team that lost in the Game 7. So getting that far and then losing the championship, it kind of gives you a different perspective on things and how it's not easy to win. And so that was exciting for me, and just experiencing the food over there was amazing. The people. I didn't know much about Mexico. All I knew about was Tijuana because I grew up in San Diego. So kind of getting to experience some different cities in Mexico was pretty cool for me too.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like you said, like the atmosphere when you played in Korea, being a Duke UNC game in college. I'm a Duke fan myself, so I definitely
Mm,
know what you're talking about, man. Sad to see them get swept this this year, but
mm,
the atmosphere is always amazing.
yeah.
And when you played in Korea, you hit 61 home runs and 208 RBIs, so you definitely found your power stroke over there. So
Yeah, it was a good couple of good seasons over there. Had a it was his opportunity to kind of just go and be myself, and I felt like I was able to have a lot of success, and really fit in with the culture too. That was something that me and my wife really tried to do is just, hey, don't bring our American ways over there and try to expect everybody to conform to our ways. It was cool getting to kind of conform to some of the Korean ways.
yeah. And then after that, you joined the St. Louis Cardinals as a diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant for in 2021. And after that, you've been covering baseball for ESPN for the last couple of years, and you are a co-host on Off Base on MLB Network. So that's awesome, man. I I appreciate your work. Definitely see what you've been doing. That video with Pete Alonso when he explains the hitting off that front foot. That was great to see.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I just love kind of just picking guys brains. I'm still learning from an analyst standpoint, so I want to know the ins and outs of guys swings and what they're thinking about on the field, and pitchers same thing, what they're thinking about, how they're attacking hitters, like all that stuff interests me. And it's the little nuances of the game that a lot of times we don't really know unless you find out some way. So it's excited for me to find those things out. I love just creating content that people can kind of vibe with, and just, whether you're avid follower of the game or you're somebody that's just a casual fan or someone that doesn't even know anything about baseball. Like I love to create that type of stuff that draws people in.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely doing a great job. Um,
Thank you.
my guy Tomo said I found a new guest host. He's definitely welcome whenever he can, man. So Tomo kind of touched up on this question earlier, but what inspired you to keep going in the